Sheedy, you're a great man of football, but I want to take you back. We'll get to Greater Western Sydney. He's wearing his scarf for all those listening on K-Rock, but he's wearing the Giants scarf. But I want to take you way back when.
Way back?
Yeah, way back to before. Well, we can go back to before you were an AFL icon. In fact, you've not even played an AFL game of football, because there is a bit of heritage and there's a bit of premiership heritage in you that dates back to Geelong. I'm led to believe that one of your very first premierships at any level was against the mighty Geelong Red West. Is that right? Yeah. Have I done my research okay?
Absolutely.
Who were you playing for?
I was playing at Prahran Footy Club, and it was Geelong West in 1966.
66?
Middle of the 60s. That was last century. Long time ago.
Now, from 66, beating Geelong West in a grand final, you then go to the Tigers in 67.
Yeah.
Didn't have the greatest of transfer, and a little birdie tells me that we can reveal on K-Rock at the grand final eve luncheon that it is that moment in time when you grew a hatred, and I mean that word in the strongest sense. Well, it's very strong dislike. A very strong. Can you allow me very strong?
What's that?
Very strong dislike.
Very.
Of administrators of our game, ladies and gentlemen, and we all remember the slit throat and the Andrew Demetrio, you were wrong, and the scarf waving at opposition coaches. You haven't liked authority through the years, and it dates back to that time. Can you tell those assembled here the story?
It was just that I got 5 years disqualification when I tried.
Well, that'd do it.
And I thought that they could have at least met me and talked about why. Just one of those sort of...
So the VFA disqualified you for 5 years because you went to a better competition and a better club in Richmond.
Yeah, that's really Australian, isn't it?
Yeah, that is disgraceful.
Keep developing your people and get them to grow. And just before you do, you get 5 years. So they were all right.
Yeah, well, they were great. You
never went back.
No, you didn't really have to be fair. You were a star at the Tigers, and you've been a star at the coaching caper ever since. Tell us about, just before we move on to the Tigers, what about your disdain for administrators? What's been your favourite stoush? Not maybe your most publicised, but your favourite, where you've just got under someone's skin enough to really make them boil.
You will. I think I might have upset Andrew one night.
You might have, you reckon? Might have?
Well,
I think I can confirm that.
I called him Vladimir Dimitrov. It was really about Geelong. I think Geelong were trying to place the Ford Motor Company at around that time, and we just got through too. And not, and I said, well, you don't need to keep trying to get. They got 48 of them in the end. So I wrote an article and called him Vladimir Dimitrov. I went over like a leper.
Did he ring it?
We actually spoke,
yeah.
That's enough,
You had words. Yeah. You would have.
And then we had Martians.
Yeah, that was good fun. Yeah, with Martians and marshmallows.
And the Northern Melbourne pink and white marshmallow, that was good.
Yeah, that got under Greg Miller's.
72,000 went to the next day.
Yeah.
Good money, good friend.
Is it always about promotion? Are you that well planned, and does the bots just spin over in a way that you're always thinking about the promotion?
A little, I must admit. The Seagulls have surfaced at last.
Yeah, they have.
15 years ago, I spoke about Seagulls. You've finally woken up.
And they got the Eagles.
They got the
swoop.
They got the swoop.
Yeah, they got rid of that.
I mean, somebody was hitting my players behind play, so I blame the Seagulls. Because every night I go home and watch the game replay, and there were more seagulls floating across the screen. And then another batch, and then another flock. And I thought, geez, there'll be more seagulls at the game than bloody spectators. And it just kept coming across.
Well, and they were attacking the players.
No, well, they two went down. I think it was Barnard and Kim Watson in the grand final in '83. Yeah. And they gave the guy a medal.
I did too.
Yeah, definitely.
Before we get on
that is real strange, right?
Well,
anyway, we won't go there.
Well, it's the best player on the day, not necessarily the fairest. That's for the Brownlow medal. We might touch on that in a minute too. But back to the Richmond days, because halcyon days. I do love the Tigers, ladies and gentlemen. Any other Tiger fans here with me? Any? We've got a, yeah, it's got just Baldo. Anyone else? Got any? Just me and Spaldo, is it? That about it? No, one up the back, that's my son. So we've dragged a couple in. I'm having to breed Richmond fans. Yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, Pete, Pete is pressing all the buttons for us, and Brian Alexander with the Tiger scarf. Here it comes across the table. But Sheedy, we're halcyon days.
In a lazy 30 years, the Tiger, I reckon they put a needle in it and put it to sleep. Yeah.
Well, you went back there, but let's go back just in recent times after you finished at Essendon and helped on a few projects.
In their in membership,
yeah.
Yeah. We got about 5,000 on there.
Promotion, the Eureka game, there was Richmond, North Melbourne.
Haven't got that right yet.
No, but it's still bubbling away. But it must be dear to your heart, and I do always ask you this question. I love the answer. The Tigers? The Tigers must be dear to your heart.
I'm in West Sydney now. You guys are going to get it right. We're here to steal, rob, take.
Yeah, we're about to jump race too. We might just try and get that audio down up the back if we can. Just not sure that the maidens in the race 2 at Geelong take precedence over you, Sheedy. But the
Tigers are great, but we move on. We're building a club now, and I've got to get my mind focused on.
I'll get to that. I want to hear a few Tiger stories. You had premiership success there, and the grand finals on tomorrow. What was your favourite premiership moment?
Kicking first 3 goals in the grand final.
Yeah.
That was 73. I hardly ever kicked many goals in my life. In the back pocket most of it. And Tommy finally got a move up to get me into the centre and the rock gravity position. So the ball's pretty hot in the first 10 or 15 minutes. And, to kick 3 goals is probably my most memorable moment in the grand final as a player.
As a player, yeah. And then, of course, premiership success at Essendon. Do you have a favourite moment in those premiership years for the Bombers coaching?
Look, if you really wanted to be dead set serious about your first premiership, it's when Kevin Walsh got knocked out by Di Domenico. It's about maybe 15 minutes to go and everybody really annoyed in the box. And Hawthorn was just starting to gather momentum, and then you had a 15-minute grand final. You had to win the grand final after he got carried off in the stretcher, and it might have been 80 minutes, I'm not sure. But then all of a sudden it was, a kick in it, and you've got to really concentrate and make sure that you as the head coach is focused on whatever you can do to get this bloody team over the line. And that's the moment I felt I started to really be a reasonably good coach. We got up and won, and in the end we kicked 11 goals in the last quarter.
So were you a different coach after that? Did you walk a little tall?
I was confident. I mean, when you go out to coach in your first year and you've never coached, and you're only coaching with Barassi, Hafey, Parkin, Jeans, and you're coaching no games. So in the end, you're up against it.
Yeah.
So they're great coaches.
Absolutely, but you I suppose were wearing that badge, premiership coach, and were able to stand tall against it.
Well, I felt that you could, Scott will feel like that on Saturday night when he wins.
Yeah.
That he actually had that chance and may win it. And after basically one season, he's won a premiership now. That's a great effort.
Well, I think the statistic...
It's a great effort. And you lost Ablett, but you got a coach.
Yeah, without any shadow of a doubt.
And you got 2 draft choices coming, so you were very lucky.
Chris Scott, 28 games. Yeah. Mick Malthouse, 28 years coaching. Yeah. Does that what does that mean to tomorrow's game?
Doesn't matter. No, I must admit I lost my first game as in a grand final, my first grand final. And I did learn a lot because I was quite confident we could do well. The Hawthorn was so good, and our players had never really been to a grand final before, so that was different from this game because the Geelong players have been to a grand final, a number of them. And also Collingwood, that second grand final last year would have really been good for Collingwood, even though the performance of Geelong's been better in the last month. Collingwood just looked okay in the last quarter last week. Yeah, that was a bit frustrating. I would have thought for Geelong.
Well, while we're there, we'll get you to analyse tomorrow's game. We've got plenty more to ask you, but how do you see? That's an interesting comment that you thought that they were a little, well, they were much better because they were well beaten by Hawthorn for 3 quarters.
Hawthorn should have won the game.
They should have. They were the better side across the 4 quarters. You would have thought, but Collingwood did enough have they done enough to impress the football world, and you being at the pinnacle of that, to bring their very best A game tomorrow to beat Geelong, who seemed to be the opposite? They had a bit of a flat spot, lost a game, lost down here to the Swans, and been able to rev it up since then.
Yeah, but I mean, look, they're the best team around, which is great. They deserve to be there. I would think it's going to be a really tight game early, because really at the moment, Collingwood's got to still believe they can beat Geelong after the belting they've got in that last one. That's a scar for sure. But Collingwood on one side have got some much better players coming back. They never played that game. And Geelong have lost about 4 goals, maybe 5 goals with Mental and Stevie J. I don't think he'll play.
You don't think Stevie will play?
I doubt it. Look, I mean, I'll be honest, I did not think Buddy Franklin will play after he hurt his knee and come back.
Yeah.
So you never know, but in general,